Grander water has many different effects. Take, for instance, the Knoll bakery in Bremen in Germany that delivers wholemeal bread to 150 organic health food shops. According to the customers, the rolls made with Grander water stay fresh longer and taste a lot better. Here it's clear to everyone that Grander technology makes a difference to bread.
I had my doubts to begin with. You can't see anything, you can't hear anything, and you can't smell anything. So all right, we tried it out, and straight away we noticed that something had changed in the water, which represents for us a qualitative improvement in various ways.
One thing that is measurable in the baking process is the ratio of water to flour. Ever since revitalized water has been used here, we find that more of it is being absorbed in the dough mixture. In other words, the same amount of flour as usual, but more dough. And for this reason, the bread dries out less quickly than it used to. An additional advantage for the bakery is that since it installed the Grander device to its water main, they use the third less detergent. There is one other key benefit for the staff.
The coffee tastes better to me, and that's an important point for us bakers because we work mainly at night. It's a lot smoother.
The baker, Rudi Schumacher from the small German town of Fell, swears that things have changed since he installed a water energizer. Since he started making the sour dough for his bread with energized water, apparently the bread tastes better.
Some of my customers noticed. A friend mentioned it to me. He said, "Your bread has been tasting different for weeks now." I was astonished and tried to understand what was going on. Then I realized that the energizer had been installed at the same time people started noticing differences. Our sales have almost doubled since then, since the year I installed the energizer. Water is a science in itself. I was really surprised at first, and I couldn't believe it at all because it seemed impossible from a logical point of view. I didn't think it was possible for something like that to work. From the very first time we used the Grander system, we found an improvement in the production of our milk and cheese. The bacteriological properties were a lot better too. The cheese and milk have more flavor and have a better taste. The product is completely different to what it was in the past. It's all in there and also in the other tanks. Since the cheese has been revitalized using the Grander method, the specialty cheese of the Bassi company has a more balanced acid curve. Our cheese also has a more natural taste now, which is pleasant to the palate and which doesn't produce any unpleasant aftertaste. Experts taking part in the regular tasting sessions notice the difference immediately.
A sauna owner in Bern benefits from Grander technology's strong cleaning power.
The first effect that we noticed was that we were saving on detergents. We wash an enormous number of towels a year and have been able to reduce our detergent use by 60%. The equipment basically paid for itself within the first 6 months, taking into account just the savings on expensive detergents. Fish are probably the animals which are the closest to water. In the aquarium store in Vielmergen, one of the largest stores of its kind in Switzerland, the fish swim in revitalized water. The fish seem a lot better. They enjoy swimming, they eat a lot, they show mating behavior. It's a joy to watch them, and I think fish are a lot closer to water than we are. And if we can feel the difference in the water, or an effect from the grander unit, when we bathe in it or when we drink it, then a fish will certainly notice the difference a lot sooner.
Dann merkt das ein Fisch natürlich noch viel eher.
We have koi carp here, and they get to be quite large. They can grow up to 1 meter in length, and we actually don't have all that much water available here in relation to the size and number of the fish. This means that the water quality has to be very high if the fish are to remain healthy. We change the water and clean the filters every week. That is one thing. But the other, much better thing, is actually the revitalization with grander technology. And since we've been using this, we have very good, very healthy fish. And they are lively, inquisitive, and that's a good sign. I wouldn't want to let my fish swim in water without the grander unit anymore. That's right. And we have one customer who breeds rare catfish. He's sure that his success is due to grander technology. He says that the water quality parameters he can measure are really not good enough for fish breeding. But his fish spawn all the time, so it's clear to him what the cause is.
Manfred Meyerhofer has been working with grander for many years and found the solution to many difficult problems with grander water revitalization.
We had a really difficult problem. We had a customer who was having problems with his underfloor heating, which was about 20 years old. It had always worked efficiently, and suddenly there was nothing but problems. The heating stopped working every 2 months because the underfloor heating pipes were clogged up. We cleaned it all, tried to find out what was causing it, and then waited another 2 months until the next problems occurred.
Und haben dann wieder 2 Monate gewartet, bis das nächste Problem da war. Und da sind halt dann die
And the times between problems kept getting shorter until the customer got really upset and told us finally to do something. So we tried out grander. We said we would see what would happen with grander. After we installed a grander unit in the heating circuit, what we saw was literally a miracle.
Nach dem Einbau, und das, was uns recht verblüfft hat, war gleich nach einer Woche.
Only 1 week after the installation, we found something truly amazing. We had deliberately not changed the dirty heating water, and we hadn't told the customer what might change. He came to us and told us that the room temperature was 1 to 1.5 degrees warmer, and that the general ambience in the room was better, even though he hadn't changed the thermostat at all. We kept an eye on the system for about 3 years and checked everything to see whether it was working properly. And now, after around 5 years, the whole system is in such good condition that the customer can't remember that he ever had any problems with it. So now we have a solution which we can recommend to everyone. A solution which works without chemicals and where you don't have to add anything else. And it's all due to the natural power of grander water revitalization.